Hello everyone, and today in the news we're going to talk about a social media tax that is causing protests in Uganda. We're going to talk about a squirrel statue that is causing backlash in Kazakhstan, and we're going to talk about how the Eritrean leader is visiting Ethiopia. Alright, so the first story comes from CBS News, and it says that protests are erupting in Uganda over a social media tax. A new tax is being implemented in Uganda that targets social media users. The tax forces users of social media to pay 5 cents each day to access their favorite sites. The Ugandan government has claimed that the tax will be used to fund big infrastructure projects, but this has sparked massive outrage in the country and protests have broken out in the capital city of Kampala. The protests have been so bad that the police have been forced to use tear gas and bullets to quell the protests. Following these protests, Prime Minister Ruhakana Rugunda has agreed to review the social media tax and create a new bill in the following week. The president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, had initially proposed the bill after receiving criticism online, so it seems that the tax was actually a subtle attempt at censorship. Many Ugandans who have been engaging in the protests have said that online social media platforms are the only way that they can truly criticize the government without receiving backlash. It seems that the people of Uganda desire an open forum where they can exercise free speech and openly criticize the government, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Our next story comes from the BBC, and it says that a squirrel statue has been causing backlash in Kazakhstan. A 40-foot tall squirrel statue has been erected in the city of Almaty. The statue cost about $67,000 and was partly paid for with public funds. Many people in Almaty are calling for the statue to be torn down and are also calling the statue a disgrace and a waste of taxpayer money. Some have even said that the statue looks more like a rat than a squirrel. The designer of the statue states that it is supposed to symbolize nature's evolution from rural to urban life, and it can also symbolize life in Almaty. Now, Kazakhstan is not a particularly rich country, but they are also not particularly poor. Most of the outrage around the statue has to do with the fact that Kazakhstan spent public funds on the endeavor. If the statue had been privately funded, then maybe people wouldn't be so offended by it. And this does raise the question, should Kazakhstan be spending money on these kind of things, or should they be doing other things to revamp the economy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Our last story comes from TampaBay.com, and it says that the leader of Eritrea is visiting Ethiopia. Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki is visiting Ethiopia on Saturday. The two countries are attempting to mend relations and find common ground amidst one of the longest-running conflicts in Africa. Eritrea and Ethiopia have been engaging in a border war which has led to the deaths of over 10,000 people. This visit marks a historical shift in the relations between Eritrea and Ethiopia, especially because Eritrea has historically been a very reclusive country. Tensions between the two countries began to thaw when Abiy Ahmed, the new Prime Minister of Ethiopia who took power in April, had agreed to a peace deal that will completely end the conflict between the two countries. The meeting is being praised by the United Nations as a positive step forward for the two countries and for the Horn of Africa as a whole. Many experts are speculating that if Ethiopia and Eritrea do mend ties and do strengthen their relations, that Eritrea might actually open up to the outside world. This could also cause the people of Eritrea to be exposed to certain freedoms that they do not currently have. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.